Hi everyone, it's Nicole here from My Dear Charlie and welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel and you'd like to see what I do, like projects, journals, please subscribe and don't forget to click on the bell so you get notifications when my new videos are posted onto my channel. As you can probably tell today, we've got a bit of a Christmas theme going because let's face it, I can't believe where the year's gone. It's been an absolutely crazy year and we're only, I don't know, not much over a month away from Christmas. So I thought this might be a good idea or a good time to start getting some packaging ideas. So what I'm sharing with you today is this really sweet little box. The reason I'm doing this, I've actually had a couple of people ask me how I do my boxes. I don't use a template for my projects, but I'm going to walk you through this step by step, give you measurements and show you how I make it. And then how you can adjust it also to different sizes. So of course this is one I prepared earlier, as I always do. I'll just take this ribbon off that's just sitting on there. And then you can see we've got this nice little box. So the dimensions of this little one, it's 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. So what I'll do, I'll pop that aside for now and we'll get started on making this one. So obviously you'll need 2 pieces of cardstock. For my projects I use 300 GSM cardstock, which is about, I think, 160 pounds. It's a cover weight, so not the same as a paperweight. So I've printed off 2 different prints, both this one and these ones. This one is from the SS Digital Studio Pink Christmas Pack, and this one is from the SS Digital Studio Blue Christmas Pack. I just thought they were really sweet. The colours are great and we can mix and match the patterns, like the boxes, the lids, etc. So we'll do the base first. So I'll pop that aside. Now for the base, for this one, you'll need a sheet cut to 10.5 inches wide by 6 inches. So that's going to give us our 2.5 inch box. So what we're going to do first, we need to score it, and so we can get ready to fold it. So I will sit down now and get out my trusty scoreboard. And what we're going to do is make our scores. So along the long edge here, we're going to score it at 2.5 inches. Then we're going to score it at 5 inches. Then at 7.5 inches. And then at 10 inches. Okay, and we've got this 1/2 inch here, which we need to be able to fold back to join the box together. Now on this short side here, we need to score that too. So the way we're going to score that is we're going to score it at 1 inch. Oh, alright, wrong way. That's the top. That's okay though. We're going to score it at 1 inch. You need the 1 inch score, so that's at the top of the box because that's what's going to fold into the box. And then we need 2.5 inches, so we're going to score it at 3.5 inches. So there's that. So I can put that aside for now and we can get to constructing this sweet little box. So what we need to do for starters is we need to cut off, I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see, but it might be easier from underneath. We need to cut off this bottom section here and this little top section here. So when you cut them, make sure you cut not along the crease but on the edge, because otherwise you're going to have this funny leftover bit. So we're going to cut from the bottom up. And up to the bottom of this pattern here. And again, cut across there. And you can see there's none of that score line left there. And then we're going to do the same on this side, on this little top corner. And then the same here. Oh, not having any joy with the scissors, am I? Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to cut along these ones. Obviously that's the sides of the box, so that stays as is. And then we're going to cut along these ones. Now what you want to do, again, you want to cut to the edge of that crease. So we're just going to do that. And then again on the other side. So you'll end up with a little gap, which is what you want. Okay, so we're going to do it here as well. Well, it's kind of hard to see in this light. I might do it from the back because it's actually easier. Actually, no, it's not. It's easier on this side. And again, just to the side of that crease line. And on this one, and on this one. Then I just pull these up from the inside and snip them off. So the bottom, you'll have something that looks like this with the gaps. So we're going to do that along here as well. So again, and then snip those off. So that's all the cutting done. Well, just about all the cutting done. What I like to do now is just give all the folds a bit of a burnish, because that makes for a really nice crisp finish on the box. Those ones fold in the top ones. I can see this one here, I've cut it a little bit crooked, so a little bit has to come off this edge, otherwise when I go to fold it in, it's not going to fold in neatly. So that's a lot better now. So what I do is then I just fold it to here. And what you want to do is you want to keep this flap here. And you want to keep this one here. So this one and this one. These two here, all you're going to do is cut them off a bit more than half. because they just offer extra support when you put the box together. You can most certainly use glue for this project. I actually prefer to use double-sided tape. If you've got a good strong double-sided tape, I say go for that. I'll just cut that off straight. And then this one goes on this side because this tucks under. I just use an acrylic block to line up with the edge, and then I can just pull it off. This will overlap, but that doesn't matter. When I peel it off, it's all good. But you do want it right to that edge. All right. So then what we need to say is, okay, well that's going to go that way, that's going to go in, and that one's going to go on the bottom. So this one here, because this one's going to be the very bottom piece of the box, I'm going to run tape right around the edge, as close as I can get to the edge. Yep, a bit off there, because it just gives it a really nice neat finish. And then I run a few extra bits across. Like I said, it's all about strength. So there we go. Now, because that's the outside one, what you want to do, they're going to fold down like that, and that's going to go like that. So what I do is I run a piece along this edge here, and a piece along the bottom there. So, oh, that one was, these ones are supposed to be on the outside, I apologise. Keep forgetting about that. So these two smaller flaps here, you just pop the tape on the outside. And then, of course, you need a piece along here. And then on these top ones, you just run a piece along the top edge. Like I said, you can use glue. I just prefer to use tape because that way there's no chance of it warping. I use a really good glue that's specifically for stopping it from warping, but I find that sometimes, like if you put just a little bit too much on, you can still get a bit of a warp. So that's why I prefer the tape. Okay, so we're all taped up. Make sure they're all burnished because I didn't do that before. That one looks a bit wonky too. Fix that up. Just going to cut just a little bit off along that edge. Okay, now all we have to do is stick it all together. So what we do is we fold this bit over and burnish that tape on. Actually take off the back one first, even though that other one's stuck on top, but that's okay. That will still come out. Give that a quick burnish back down and then take off that piece. And then we simply just fold it over, and there's our corner join. What we want to do now is I take off these pieces of tape. It's really just the cutting and the taping that sort of take the time. Okay, so just fold those in just a little bit, and then simply you'll feel it with your fingers where it needs to be lined up on the edges, so you get a nice square box finish. Turn it over, give it a burnish inside where you've used the tape. And then take off these bottom pieces here. And then just again feel, oh, it's all right. Just so it's nice and centered. It should be anyway. And then back in there, give it a burnish. Right at the edges especially. And then it's as simple as going around the top, taking these ones off. I always do opposite sides. It really doesn't matter, that's just my thing I do. And there we go. We have our completed box ready for a lid. It's really cute with a little Santa and the little polar bear on there. Now if you've got anything like that, which I do because it's just sort of where you cut it, just trim those little, I just call them fuzzies, just trim them off. Not that it really matters. Okay, so we're going to put that aside now and we're going to do the lid. The lid takes just a tiny tad bit longer. There's a bit more folding involved in the lid, but that's okay. We will figure that out. Well, I'll show you. I don't need to figure it out. I'll just show you how that's done. So what we do now is, this is the lid piece, which is 5 5/8 square. The reason there's the extra 1/8 of an inch is when you make the lid, it actually needs to be 1/8 of an inch bigger than the box. Like as you can see, this one is still nice and snug, but if you make it the same size, you're not going to be able to get your lid on. So that's why it's 1/8 of an inch. So what we need to do now is get the score again. And we're going to score at 1/2 inch. Then we're going to score at 1 inch. Then we're going to score at 1 1/2 inches. Then we're going to score at 4 1/8 of an inch. Then we're going to score at 4 5/8 of an inch. And then we're going to score at 5 1/8 of an inch. And we're going to turn our paper and we're going to do the exact same scores again. So 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, 4 1/8 of an inch, 4 5/8 of an inch, and then 5 1/8 of an inch. So I'm not sure how well this shows up. If you can see how we've got the 9 squares in each corner. So some of those we're now going to cut off. So I'm just wondering, I might do it from, because it's really hard to see on the pattern side, isn't it? Okay, so I'll do it from this side and hopefully you can see it a bit better. So what we need to do is we need to make a cut along here, or sorry, a cut from here up to here, and again on the inside of that fold line up to just past that fold line. Then we're going to cut along here and here, so we'll do here first, again on that side of the line. Then we're going to cut just on that side of the line. What cutting those little bits out does, when you fold things over, it gives you that room. Otherwise you end up with bits that you've got to try and jam in. And then we're going to cut this whole section off here, like so. And then we're going to cut this square off here, this one. So all you're left with of that corner are these 2 pieces. Okay, and we're going to cut off that little excess tab. So what we're going to do, we're going to do the same again on this side. Okay, and we're going to cut along that line just on the left of that fold, and we're going to cut on the left of that fold all the way to the center one, and then we're going to cut to the right of the fold just to get rid of that fold piece, and then we're going to cut off that corner. And then we're going to turn it around and we're going to do the exact same thing on this side. So up to here. Up to here. Along that side of the fold, and along that side of the fold, so those 6 squares come off, and then that one off. Okay, and last side here. That off, and then take that off. Okay, what I also like to do is I like to cut these on a 90-degree angle. All these corner bits. It just makes it a bit neater when you fold it in and over. So I have, this is called a magic triangle, and it's a 90-degree angle. You can use, look, I'm sure everybody has whatever it is they use for theirs, and just use whatever you've got, that's fine. I like this one. This one is made by an American gentleman by the name of Sage Reynolds. He does some, he makes some amazing books, and he makes amazing jewellery. And I'll pop a link in the description for this little magic triangle if anyone's interested in having a look at getting one. Well, it's really good for book binding, you know, journal binding. If you're going to do, say, quarter bound covers, things like that, it's great for your corners, when you need to get your papers right and things like that. It's just a fantastic little tool to have. Okay, oh, got those corners to do too. Getting a bit far ahead of myself here. I have done these without cutting the corners, but sometimes the lid doesn't sit quite right because it's quite bulky in the corners, so it can be just a little bit wonky, which by the time you tie it down with a bit of ribbon or tape or something like that, it's, look, it's really no big deal. But again, I just like things as neatly as I can get them. Okay, so I'll just move that out the way, my pencil. I'm just going to cut those straight off. Okay, fantastic. That's all our cutting done now. And again, I like to go in and burnish all my folds. Now these ones go on the inside of the lid, so I just fold it back that way, like so. Fold that one back. That one in and back, in and back. Let me just straighten up here. My mats are going a bit skewy. Okay, so as you can see, these bits fold in also. So when we get it all joined together, they sit over there, like so. Oh, just take that bit out. And they'll sit over there and they'll keep it in place. So what I do is I run a bit of tape along here. Just along the top, just beneath the fold. Do that all the way around. So it just keeps it all nice and firmly folded and in place once you've finished your lid. So that's those ones done. And then we're going to tape across these so when we fold them in, they stick nice and firmly to the inside of the lid. Excuse me if I'm getting my head in the way there. Okay. Just about done. Last one, and then we can assemble this lid. Okay, now I do have that one little bit there to trim off. And we're done. So what we're going to do now is first we're going to do these sides here. Oh, I really should burnish that down so it's stuck properly and it's easy to peel the backing tape off then. The tape I use is Sukwen, which is like score tape. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's pretty much the exact same thing. I buy it direct from South Korea. I go through a bit, so I buy it in bulk. Okay, so when you're doing that, you want to push the sides in so they're nice and even. Okay, get that bit out. I like to leave the bottom little bit into last because sometimes when you go to stick things down it sort of sits out from the corners. Okay, and we're going to go back over to this side now, do the same. So those little tabs are underneath there. Again, push in the sides. Take off that bottom piece. Just take these ones off at the same side because we don't have the tabs there, so we can just hold that up a bit, push that right back into the corner, push that down, and lucky last. And again, any little bits that stick out at the corners, you can just chop them off. So there's our lid. It looks like I didn't push that one in too well, but that will be fine. And then we have our box here, and we have our lid that fits perfectly. So that's why you want to do the extra 1/8 of an inch. Now, on this one, I put some little glitter snowflakes. They're actually die cuts. They're a Stampin' Up die cut, and I think it's called Seasonal Layers. I think they're really sweet, so I thought, well, just to add just a little bit of bling. It's always nice to have a little bit of bling. Where's the front? Yep, that's the front there. I always, wherever that seam is, that bottom seam, that back seam, that's the back to me. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue. Oh yeah, here we go, coming out. You don't need a great deal of glue. It's good to glue the little fiddly bits down. Right. We won't stick it over our little polar bear, we'll stick it over this way instead. Bit of extra glue, that doesn't matter. And then this one I've just got on a little mini dimensional. So I'll just peel the tape off the back of that. And I'll stick that down the bottom here. So there we go. I would put a ribbon on there, but I actually do not have a single piece of ribbon that goes with these colours. I don't even have any white ribbon. So once I get to the shops again, then I can get some white ribbon and stick that on. So there you go. There's a simple little 2.5 by 2.5 inch box with its nice little lid. It's always fun to, yeah, chop and change the designs. In both of those packs, there's I didn't count, but there's a few different designs. So I will leave a link to them in the description below. I will also leave a link to the magic triangle in the description below. And yeah, so thanks for hanging out with me and having a look. I will be back with a few more little Christmassy gift ideas over the coming, you know, week or so, and yeah, we can take it from there. So I hope you enjoyed that, and until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.